Alright, so in this video I wanted to just do a review of the query syntax that you can use with the AskSteem search engine to perform searches. So the first one I'm going to cover is just a basic keyword slash phrase search, and this is the one I figure that about 90% of people are probably going to end up using, at least when they start. So let's just do an example of one of these. So one of the examples I listed in the paper on this would be how to buy Bitcoin, and you see that it will perform that query and it'll return a page of results back to us that contains relevant results related to how to buy Bitcoin, and this these are ranked based on the default ranking algorithm, although there are some things that we'll get into later that you can do to kind of alter the way that these are ranked. So that's just a basic keyword for search. You could also do something like what is Steam, get some results for that, or perhaps Markdown tutorial, and you can get some results telling you how to use Markdown. So those are all just basic keyword, basic phrase searches. You can also just do a single word like Steam, although you probably won't get a whole lot of results for that, or well, you might, but they won't be particularly accurate. The more words you use, the more accurate it tends to get. Also, while we're here, you will notice from time to time that this service will pull in results from outside sources. In this case, it's pulled something in from Wikipedia, but you may see little descriptions and things and definitions every so often, just when you're searching. So the next type of search is going to be an exact search, which is very similar to a keyword slash phrase search. The only difference is you surround the entire query with quotation marks. So for example, we wanted to say how to buy Bitcoin, and we wanted to search for that. Now all of these results here, you can see this one, how to buy Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin with PayPal. All of these have these exact words that we've searched for in the exact order that we searched for them. And even if it didn't have, if you saw one of these that didn't have it in the title, it looks like all of these do have it in the title, but this could also be, somewhere in the body of the page here, it found those exact words in that order. Typically, I wouldn't use these unless you're trying to Google, unless you're trying to ask Steam like an error message or something along those lines. So the next one we're going to do is a tag search. So what tag searches allow you to do is search for all the posts that have been tagged with a particular little tag. And there's actually two ways to do this. You can do it manually, or you can just go to any of these results here, and you can click on the tag. In this case, we'll click on this cryptocurrency tag, and it will automatically perform that query for you. Or you can just go into the top page here and manually type it in. The syntax for that is tags, : and then whatever tag you want to search for. In this case, we'll say we want to find posts that are tagged with life. And then that will go out and it will retrieve a listing of all of the posts that are tagged with life, and these will be ranked typically in order of upvotes, although there are, again, ways that we can modify that I'll get into later. So that's tag search right there. And the next one we're going to get into is pretty similar to tag search. Basically, it's author search, and you can also, there's also a shortcut way to do this. You can just click on any of these usernames here in the search results. I'll click on this one, and it will take you to a page that lists all of that particular user's posts. Or you could again do that manually by typing author : colon, and then the name of the user. In this case, my username is the Kyle, so we'll type that. And you can see all the posts that I have posted on the Steem blockchain. Alright. So the next thing is going to be searching by the post date of various posts in the index. So there's actually two ways you can do this. You can search for a specific date, a specific day, or you can search for a range, like from the 1st of the month to the 15th of the month, for example. And I'll show you how to do both. So to do a specific day, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do created, colon, and then the 4-digit year dash 2-digit month dash 2-digit day. So in this case, let's find posts from, it's just the beginning of June, so let's find posts from yesterday, which would be June 1st. So that would be 2017 dash 06, which is June, dash 01, which is the 1st of June. And here it'll go through and it'll find all of the results for posts that were created on June 1st of 2017. And you could do this for any date you wanted. Just use the year, the month, and the day. However, we can also search for posts by date range. And the way we do that is we say created colon, and then we're gonna open and closing bracket, square brackets, and then inside of that, what we're gonna do is we are going to put the start date that we want, and then we're gonna use the keyword to, and then we're gonna put the end date that we want. So in this case, I want to get all of the posts that were posted during May. So I'm going to say 2017 dash 05 dash 01 2, and that does need to be uppercase, both letters, 2017 dash 05 dash 31. And this will go and it will collect all the posts that were posted between May 1st and between May 31st. So we can run that query, and you can see, you can't see the exact dates, but you can see that they were all posted, during the month of May, because right now the date of this recording is June 2nd. So this one was a week ago, which would be May, 3 days ago, which would have just barely been May, 4 days ago, just barely been May. You can see all these. All these were posted during May. And then you could do this for any time period. You could do this for a whole year, or a whole month, or a week, or, even just whatever you want. Alright, so that's dates done with. The next thing I want to cover is searching based on the number of votes or the number of comments. So this one's pretty similar to dates, actually. So how we're going to do it is we can search for either a specific vote count or a specific comment count, or we can search for a specific range, or we can even search for, say we want posts that have at least this many votes, but they could have more, but they have to have at least this many. So let's do that. So to begin with, the keywords for votes to search for this is net_votes, colon, and then let's say we wanted to find a bunch of posts that have 15 votes. So we do net_votes 15. Then it'll go through and it'll find all of the posts here that have 15 votes, which you can see all of these do. You could also do the same for comments. The keyword for comments is going to be children. And then let's find all the posts that have 15 comments. And here we go. We see we've gotten a bunch of posts and they all have 15 comments. The reason for these kind of weird names of net_votes and children is because these are what they're called on the actual blockchain. So that's why they're called this in the queries. Anyway, let's do some more advanced stuff. If we wanted to look for posts that had between 100 and 200 votes, we would do that very similar to how we did the dates. We would do net_votes, colon, and then open and closing brackets, 100 to 200. And this will perform a query looking for posts that have between 100 and 200 votes. If we execute that, we see a bunch of posts with between 100 and 200 votes. In this case, all of the ones you see now are at 200 because this is the only thing we provided, and so it's ranking them based on the highest number of votes first. But if you were to go past a couple pages, you would begin seeing lower vote counts. We can also do the same for children or comments. Let's say we wanted to find posts that have between 10 and 20 comments. And now, as you can see, all of these have between 10 and 20 comments. This one is 20, 17, 13, 20, 18, 11, 10, 14. You get the gist. Okay, so that's how to do ranges with voting and comments. You can also do ranges, or rather kind of limits. So let's say we wanted to find all the posts that have at least 20 upvotes. So we could do net_votes less than sign, I believe that's less than, what did we say, 20 votes, I guess. So you would say net votes, or rather net votes is basically what this is saying is you want the net votes to be greater than this number here. So net votes are going to be greater than 20. If we run this query, oops, what happened here? Greater than 20. You can see that all of these posts are going to have votes that are higher than 20, in this case by quite a bit. So let's actually do the opposite. Let's say we wanted, for whatever reason, posts that had no more than 20 votes. We could switch this sign around and say that the maximum amount of votes that we want is going to be 20. And now you see a bunch of these with 19 votes. Now the reason for that is because this syntax here says the maximum will be 20 but not including 20. If you wanted to include 20, you would put an equal sign here, and then it would say the maximum is 20 including 20. If you don't include the equal sign there, it's just going to be 20 but not including 20, since the lowest one, before 20 is 19, so you would get a maximum of 19. And then we can do the same thing for comments. For example, if we wanted posts that had more than 50 comments, and we see we get a bunch of posts here that have more than 50 comments. Okay, well, I think that's mostly it to do with votes and comments. So let's move on to the next query type, which is boosts. Now, boosts is a way that you can sort of create your own ranking algorithm if you'd like. For example, you could say how to mine Steem, and this would typically just be a phrase search, but what you could go in and do is say, using a caret character, you could say, I want the use of the word mine to be double important, and I want the use of the word steam to be triple important. So how you do that is you do caret and then however important you want to make that word. So if we run this query, it's going to prioritize documents that have the word steam and mine in it compared to how to. Now in this case, since how to is a common phrase anyway, it probably would have prioritized these two words regardless of us doing this. But if we were to have used a query with more specific terms, you could prioritize certain terms that you really wanted to have with it. And this doesn't just apply to words like this. This could apply to any of these various types of queries that we're doing, which I may show you a little bit later in more detail. So that's boosts. You can also do inclusive and or exclusive search. And what this means is you tell AskSteem that you want to include or exclude words by using plus and minus symbols before the actual term. So for example, we could say cryptocurrency mining, which we do want, minus Bitcoin, which we don't want. And this will run a search for posts that are about cryptocurrency that have the word mining but do not have the word Bitcoin. And we get a list of results that are about cryptocurrency mining but nothing about Bitcoin mining specifically. So moving on, that's inclusive and exclusive search. You can also perform, to a limited extent, wildcard searches. What a wildcard is it means you place either a question mark or a asterisk next to a term in your search, and we will match anything that the search engine will try to fit any word it can in there in order to get a match. So for example, you could say how to mine and then a wildcard, and then this search will go through and look for results that have the term how to mine and then any other word after that. So as you can see, our results here are how to mine that currency, how to mine this other currency, how to mine burst coins, how to mine Veltor, how to mine Pascal coin. Alright, a bunch of things using how to mine with a different cryptocurrency in each of these positions where we placed the star here. So that's wildcards, and then you can also use a question mark just to replace an individual character. So finally, last search type, and the one that really kind of takes everything that we've done to this point and just puts it all together, is a Boolean search. And what a Boolean search does is it allows us to take multiple of these different search types and put them together. So for example, let's say we wanted posts that were tagged with AskSteem, but we also wanted the posts to be authored by me, and my username is the Kyle. We could perform this query, tags AskSteem, which we know would just give us a list of results that were tagged with AskSteem, and we could perform this query, author the Kyle, which we know would just give us a list of results that have been posted by the Kyle, and we can say we want the intersection between those two results lists, which would be this, which would be the posts that have been posted by me in the AskSteem tag. Getting a little bit more complex, we could, for example, say we wanted results that had to do or were related to Bitcoin that had at least 500 votes, but between 50 and 100 comments. So before we run this, let's look at how we would individually do each of these things. So to find out if something is related to Bitcoin, we could just simply search and do a term search for the term Bitcoin. However, if we really wanted to make sure we get everything, we could say if it has the term Bitcoin or if it's tagged with Bitcoin. And this will return all the results that either have the term Bitcoin in them or are in the tag Bitcoin. Next, we could say we want to find all of the posts which have greater than 500 upvotes. Now we did this before, and we know that the syntax for this is net_votes : is greater than, and then whatever amount we want. In this case, we said we wanted 500. So net votes greater than 500, and it will give us a list of results that have at least 500 upvotes. And finally, how would we find the posts that have between 50 and 100 comments? Well, there's actually two ways we could do this. There's the way that we discussed before, and then there's another way that we could do it using Boolean statements. I'll show you how to do both ways. So the first way we discussed already is to just say children, open and close square brackets, 50 to 100. And this will get us a list of all of the posts that have between 50 and 100 comments. However, you could also do this using Boolean statements. In our case, the way we would do it using Booleans would be to say children, open and close parentheses, and then greater than 50 and less than 100. If we execute that, we see that we get the same exact results, because both of these are doing the same thing. So theoretically, you could use either one of these. Alright, now let's put that whole thing together. So, we want something related to Bitcoin. We are going to say that thing we started with, which was Bitcoin or tags Bitcoin. That's surely going to get us something related to Bitcoin. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this whole thing into parentheses. And what this will do is basically it will, if either of these become true, it will make this entire parentheses term true. Or if both of them are false, it will make this entire term false. And then we're going to put an AND statement in here and say, and we want the net votes to be greater than 500. And then we also want it to have between 50 and 100 comments, so we can also say, and we want children, I'm going to use the bracket syntax here, bracket, open and close, 50 to 100. If we run this, we see that we get all the results that have between 50 and 100 comments, more than 500 upvotes, and are related to Bitcoin. So you can make Boolean statements as complex or as simple as you would like. This would be an example of a more complex one, while a simple one might be Bitcoin author the Kyle. Sorry, we need to put an and in between these two, Bitcoin and author the Kyle. And as you can see here, I have one post that is related to Bitcoin and is authored by me. You could also put an or here, which would return results that either were written by me or were related to Bitcoin. So that's mostly all there is to Boolean statements, other than just spending some time playing around with them and experimenting. So I hope that this video has helped you with better understanding the AskSteem search syntax, and good luck with searching.